Children
Just
of
2 years
Men.
away from this, guys.
Yeah.
One year away
1
from
year
this.
away.
Yeah.
I swear we saw this movie, but I guess I watched it on my own. Probably one of you guys suggested it to me, and I went. And
I think
watched
it comes up once in a while in
It comes
conversation.
up. It
Yeah.
comes up.
Chris, I watched this movie in 2006 when it came out, and I thought it
Yeah.
was good, but I actually liked it better
This
watching
time?
it the second time.
Fucking masterpiece. That's why.
I think
It's a great movie.
it's
Yes.
really. I mean, I always knew that it was really well made, but I think I
I'm
got
sorry,
more.
dear.
I got more into it this time because I wasn't figuring out the story. I knew where we were going, and so I really appreciated the story. I felt like more emotions and stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Because because the shocks were gone, you're able to focus on the mechanics and the acting.
yeah, I was kind of sorting out what the story was the first time because it's a little bit,
Dude, I mentioned this in the chat, and I was forbidden to talk about it till now. But the goddamn art direction tells the story.
Well,
Yeah,
and this is, but
this is
one of
a
those.
sad damn story. There's really a lot of
And the
people
thing is,
die in it.
so
The
here,
art
this is-
direction in this is so off the charts
It is.
good.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
And usually when art direction tells you the story, it's done in a campy or it's just it's forced,
Too obvious.
it's too saccharine or something's
Yeah.
wrong with it.
Mhm.
Here it's perfect, and also the detail. I mean, every room they go in, I'm talking like the props and
Yeah.
the fucking like it's
Uh-huh.
just crazy.
The only expository speech is by the nurse, I think Miriam, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's talking about her personal experiences.
Her personal experience.
Yeah, working
Yes.
in a maternity ward, and
Yeah, I mean, sci-fi always you have to get those expo dumps in there to set people up with what the
but
situation is.
this was not a voiceover thing.
These
This
are
was-
some of the best done expo dumps because the first one you get is a story of the youngest person alive who died
yeah.
in an accident or whatever it was, and so that's a great sort of
Diego.
oblique- That's Diego, baby Diego.
He was a wanker, but he was the youngest
wanker, right. But that's a pretty good oblique way to kind of explain what the situation is.
Yeah, that's
This
right.
guy's a certain age and he's the youngest person on earth. And then that scene where she's what's her name?
Miriam.
Miriam tells
Yeah.
the story. That's pretty good too. I mean, it is expo dumps, but you kind of need those in sci-fi.
Yeah, but the thing is, it felt natural. It wasn't like someone making a speech. They're talking about themselves.
Yeah.
And that's fantastically done. And so it was the expo was minimal. The acting was more direct. Art directions told the story.
Dude,
Fucking
is
Michael
off the
Caine's
charts.
the inside of Michael Caine's house.
It was a story.
It's so
Yeah.
that's what I mean.
Yes.
Like the set design is so incredible.
So well thought out.
The only false note was that he played some like techno that would never exist. Like I don't know if they were like, this is what music's going to sound like in the future. That was stupid. But
That's the hardest shit to guess too.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But if anything, it goes backwards. They should have played like some fucking disco shit, and you'd been
That
like,
was
yeah,
an
we're-
existing Aphex Twin song.
Exactly.
It was.
was it really?
Yeah, it was. It was Aphex. They tried.
None of
They
the
tried.
needle-
It
none of the
seemed
needle
like
drops on
Aphex
point,
went
Jared.
on acid.
None of the needle drops in this movie were made for this movie.
No.
Nope.
So yeah, why the gratuitous Animals Pink Floyd reference?
Here's why.
Why?
Because he's
Battersea
collecting
Station.
art.
Fucking
Because
Battersea,
it's
man.
scene.
I know it's Battersea. I know that's where they shot the album cover.
His
would've
cousin,
been-
is you're showing
would've
that
been
his
the
cousin.
50th
Go ahead.
It would have been the 50th anniversary of the release of this
That's
album.
true. It's the 50th anniversary of the release of Animals, and his cousin. You're showing his cousin can get anything he wants.
Well, and he's the only
Like-
one preserving
Yeah.
works of art.
Oh, so
Exactly.
Culture.
It's got Michelangelo's David,
Yeah.
Picasso's
With
Guernica,
a leg
and the pig from Pink
Yeah,
Floyd.
with a leg blown off, which I think told a huge
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
another great bit of art
Yeah.
direction right
Yeah.
there.
Because
Well, he was like,
talks
couldn't get
about
the Pieta. It's
Uh-huh.
gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ. I mean, you sit there and think about what's going to happen to these poor bastards in the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. It's like awful. It's like Threads. It's like this is the big wind down. You know what I mean?
This
Yes,
is
no
like
wonder the
Threads,
world's
but
going
actually, like,
crazy.
And then you showed this a couple
more
scenes.
enjoyable to watch.
Yeah,
way more.
There showed a couple scenes at the countryside where there's like this factories belching smoke and there's crap going into the gutters because no one cares anymore.
Right.
It's like they're just making.
Kind of like now.
They're kind of making.
Also,
they're
there's-
making do because it's like everyone's dying off.
There's so many beautiful wonders in this.
Oh
and,
shit! Yeah.
And I
Everybody
remember
talks about the
specifically-
wonders in this.
Well, and I remember specifically watching like a mini doc and like reading articles about, of course, the one inside the car, the 360.
They had to
Yeah.
take the camera
That
out
is
the fucking
absolutely
roof.
insane, and I still to this day don't know how they did it.
Yeah, I mean they're
Yeah,
on a
it's
they're on a
amazing.
trailer and they're being
They
pulled
built a
and
specific camera for it.
There's a-
Yeah.
That's right.
the camera's in the car, and then the camera comes out of the top of the car or
Yeah.
out the window.
yeah.
Yes,
And the camera, when it's lowered down into the car, it can go 360, and
which it does.
which it does, and they never cut, and they had to operate it, remotely.
And this was
Oh,
actually
man.
They actually do cut. There
there are cuts in
no,
it. They hide them.
Yeah,
They hide
none
'em.
of these,
Uh,
none of
Chivo.
the one-er scenes are actually uncut. They're hidden very well digitally. One of the interesting things about that car scene is that the seats in the car were rigged so that they could fall back further
Mhm.
as the camera is moving around, so they could get the actors out of the way
Mhm.
for it, which I think just, again, as somebody who's very interested in like the practicality of filmmaking, like that's just thinking on your fucking feet.
Mhm.
Like I'm sure
okay,
there was a cut with the ping pongs because that was too
Chivo.
perfect.
You know what's
Oh,
weird? What's weird?
there's three cuts there, or at least three digital effects there, because they're not actually doing that.
no.
The
I think
ball
that-
disappears.
But the
just-
ball is actually they're pretending to do with balls.
ball's
It's actually
digital.
Digital, mind
Yeah.
you. They did all that on 35 millimeter with a 35 millimeter camera. Can you imagine? We're talking about how they did it with a big bulky camera.
Right.
One of these
Yeah.
things. It's like it would be second nature now. I mean,
Yeah.
in terms of like doing a winner like that.
The thing about these oneers, this one and then the really epic one at the end when he's running through like the war zone,
Oh my god, that was great.
they're not only amazing if you pay attention, but they're completely ignorable. You could just, a lot of people, I'm sure, just watch this movie and just accepted what they were watching because they work.
I mean, he goes inside that
In
bus
terms of
and
the
comes back
visual
out.
storytelling,
Yeah.
they're
you would
fucking
think there's
great.
and maybe there is a cut there, but you don't even register that it's the same shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys
Was
hear
it-
that when the blood gets on the lens?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which was apparently accidental.
Yes.
Cuarón thought the shot was ruined, and Chivo was like, "No, man, leave it in. It's perfect."
It's
Yeah.
so
no,
good.
No. He called cut at the same moment that an explosion
Right.
went off,
Right.
Uh-huh.
and no one heard him.
Right.
Yeah.
So they kept filming.
right.
Yeah.
And
But it does
this
show you
is
that
not-
look, they have not cut actually.
Yeah.
This is not.
It's
the
another.
first-
It's a double down.
It breaks the fourth wall a little bit.
This is
It
not
does,
the
but it also
first
shows you,
movie-
hey, we're actually fucking doing this.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
not
This
the
could
first
actually be
movie-
documentary footage.
This is
Yeah.
not the first movie to have the like blood or grit or whatever land on the camera.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
But
some other
it
one.
is the movie that popularized it because of that scene.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it was so effective to so many people who watched it that
And then they
it ended up
digitally-
becoming a thing.
They slowly digitally wipe it off of the lens. And once he gets inside the building, he
Yeah.
like goes up the stairs and stuff, and then you notice, oh, the blood's gone.
There might even
And
be
if
a
you
cut
Go
there.
back
I'm
and
sure there
watch.
probably is a
They
cut.
they
Yeah, there
they
is.
slowly did like
Oh,
he was
okay.
brushing past things or whatever, and it
Uh-huh.
was like they just started
I
taking
think it was.
out.
I think it was the reverse. I think actually they wiped it off during a cut and then painted it back on.
Oh,
and
painted it back in.
slowly
That makes sense.
removed
Slowly
that.
erode it
Yeah.
kind of out of the shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy
Anyway.
to fake,
Actually, that's
filmmaking.
you guys talking about the art direction. One of the things that I really didn't like about this movie the first time I watched it, and I still don't like about this movie watching it again, is the end part of that scene as he goes up through the building and all of the walls are demolished. And it's like, why? Like, that doesn't, that, like, none of that fits with sort of the overall aesthetic of
What do you
the
mean?
world that they're in. Well, like, he's running through that
doesn't it?
whole. No, I don't think it does. Like,
Everything is kind of dilapidated.
In other words,
though,
it kind of looks like Kosovo at that point.
right.
like a
It looks like
battle
there's
zone.
been. It looks like there's been a war going on here for years.
Yeah, yeah, and it's only been like that afternoon, right?
Right.
They blew up the
Right,
wall and, got in.
and somehow they have all these people have guns and they have horses and they have fucking.
Okay, I'm glad you. I'm glad you said this because
Yeah, go
I
Chris.
didn't really understand how that could all be happening in that last scene.
Well,
it's like
No, and it never gives you any answer to that.
No, there's no
question.
answer.
But this is
and
that-
it's
there's
the
something
revolution. It started. That's what
there's
It's
Hewittell
something I was
says.
looking. It's something I was looking for rewatching it because I have not rewatched it since I watched it the first time.
Yeah,
And and it's something I was looking for this time. Is there any explanation for how this place ended up in the way it is at the end of this? And the answer is no.
Well,
And it takes me out of the movie.
well, I know. I had the same
Well,
problem.
you
at
almost have
first
to
watching it.
invent a
Didn't bother me.
backstory that this
I-
isn't the first battle that was fought there.
That's what
Yeah.
I thought. I thought that place has been going through
Oh,
smaller
Skirmishes or
And we're talking
whatever.
about
Yes, skirmishes, revolts,
we're talking
degradation.
about the Bexhill Refugee Center,
Yes,
basically.
yeah, yeah.
And the thing is, okay, there it seemed kind of crazy because there's white horses and there's all those guys the Muslim guys, Allah Akbar, and they're all carrying
Having a
Everyone
funeral.
has a gun.
AK-47.
There's
Now,
a
mind
million
Now, mind you, here's the thing
Yeah.
about this. You think we're talking about art direction.
Well, this is like
making the film more rich. Okay, Bexhill's been there for 20 years. So they closed the borders when when the shit started hitting the fan, when they couldn't have kids anymore. So it's been
And it's
like
a
that.
refugee camp, right? It's a
Yeah.
detention center.
And
It's a
yeah, it's
fucking-
been there for 20 years.
There is probably a very lively and active smuggling system going on there from the outside world into there. That's why, it looked pretty comfortable in some places, in terms of like having
well,
apartments.
it's just like
Yeah.
a crappy. I mean, you got fires
Well,
in the fucking.
Yeah,
thing,
it's not
the
like Stalag
bins.
17. This is like people having living lives there. They're there for probably years and years waiting to be.
Yeah, but
Sure,
they're not demolishing their own walls. Those
No.
walls are demolished by external violence.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like,
you'd have to assume there was other warfare there.
Of course, you could also assume that what's happening when the British army comes in, or whoever that was.
Well, there was a tank there, and that could happen very
The thing is,
quickly.
I suppose so.
they're later on the fighter jets come, and who knows what happens after that? Jesus Christ.
they bomb the camp.
Yeah, they just wipe out Bexhill. That's the end of it. So that's like, yeah.
But it didn't make me
Beautifully
flinch,
done though.
eh?
It's just in the fog, and you hear it, and you see it just barely. It's really interesting, really well
Yeah.
done. But do you think that the main character, I forgot his name,
Clive Owen
you
is.
think Theo survives at the end?
No.
No,
He's
no,
dead.
he's fucking dead.
He could have passed out. He could have been lived in.
no, he's dead. He'd
He
stay.
got,
Bleeds out.
If you wanted to make a sequel, it was
he
left
got a
open.
shot.
They could have dragged him onto the boat and had a doctor there. And
Uh-huh.
Thank God they did not.
yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true. It
Okay,
ended where it
so
ended.
this leads to my objection I had in 2006 watching it the first time, which has faded somewhat, which was that I felt like overall it's like, wow, that was tremendously well executed, but it's pretty slight in that the ending is just she sees the boat, the end, and we cut to black.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, that was a lot to go through to not find out what happens to her. But I kind of don't,
I think
I don't have that
Cuarón-
objection anymore.
No.
My
okay.
understanding is that's intentional.
Yeah.
Cuarón said that he was basically making the introduction to the film as this film. And
Yep.
I think that's the most fucking bullshit thing I've ever heard in my life. Because
No,
if
this is the
thing you
story.
think if the thing you think is interesting is what happens after this, you fucked up.
Yeah, true enough.
Like,
True
You're
enough.
right, because it's only things are gonna get incrementally better if there's gonna be more pregnancies and people are gonna start having babies again.
Uh-huh.
So this is the interesting
you
part of the
shouldn't-
story.
But Claude Chabrol also said he films his whole script except for the last scene, and he ends it right before that.
Oh.
And I love that because I think
Okay.
that is, that's the thing. It makes for a much more intriguing.
It resonates in your head.
Yeah, because you don't just go home and go, oh well, that was nice. You
No.
go home and you go, what the fuck?
No, you're rattled. You're home like,
Yeah,
what
well,
the fuck just happened to me?
you go. Let's talk about what's going to happen after
Yeah,
the
exactly
final
right.
shot.
That makes sense. Yeah.
That's fan fiction. You're describing fan
well,
No,
it's,
it's
this-
not.
this-
That's one of the
Fan
fucking
fiction.
French
This
New
is-
Wave
this-
fucking great.
It's how the
This is
human
sci- this is-
imagination works. That's how
Yeah.
storytelling
This is
works.
sci-fi. This is sci-fi.
That's-
This is like
that's
you want
fan
to
fiction.
leave it all open, man. It's like yeah. Also, I loved the Charlie Hunnam, who was in that guy with the dreads and the fishes.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
He got to be a big career later on, but man, he was always in the background doing crazy shit. It was a nice.
Oh, I didn't know that
almost-
was that actor, but yeah, that's one of those. It's such a
I
great
I did
character
like,
who you
I
never
did
get
like
to
that he got
see.
smoked halfway off screen.
He did.
Like-
I was
I know.
was- I
Well,
was
you
good.
wanted his death to be more because he was such a
just gets
fucking
popped.
terror.
Yeah. It's
He
like,
was a repetitive like
He was
nuisance.
so
like,
hateable.
like-
He was so
yes.
hateable.
He was.
Chiwetel Ejiofor, as far as we know, is still alive at the
Yeah.
end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, Like,
Or
and-
just
and fi-
taken out by that.
But there's a pretty big explosion.
Yeah, he might have been.
I think the payoff of the film is not the end where the Human Project shows up with it tomorrow, which I think is on it, a little bit on the silly side. I think the payoff emotionally was her going down the stairs, Theo and Key,
And everybody
everyone just
Yep.
stopping.
Yep.
Well,
And that whole moment of like frozen time.
Because the whole
You
time they
noticed-
could have just fucking shot all of them.
Yeah.
well, you
But
know,
they were like,
And
not
that was
gonna
just
do it.
it was beautiful. It was spooky. It was just well done.
it's
And
not
then they had to
something
get back to the war.
Yes.
It's not. Well, hold on. So
Huh?
this is not something that I noticed when I watched it the first time, but I did notice when I watched it this time. Is it goes through that whole scene? They get out. They're walking away. Where's the first shot come from? It comes from the building.
Yeah.
Down.
Right.
It's the fishes are the one who resume the war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's a very real possibility that if that shot doesn't happen, the war doesn't restart. So, like,
Yeah.
the people you have sort of been brought up to think are the good guys,
But they're
in-
not good.
They're clearly
guys.
No,
not.
They're not.
No, they're
Obviously-
not. The
obviously-
fishes were fucked up, man.
Obviously, they're not. But I'm saying, like, I think that's a very interesting
It is.
They keep the war going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Because they're kind of probably addicted to fighting at this point. So they
right,
have to.
the rebels who may have at least, maybe not necessarily won, but at least have gotten to a point where they're at essentially a ceasefire where they could maybe start having a conversation.
Yeah,
Mhm.
come out,
Or
let's
like-
talk, kind of thing, right?
No,
This is the
Blam.
flaw with
Yeah.
extreme activists.
No, it's good stuff. It was so that see, there's a lot in that scene, so that was great.
no, I think that's my favorite scene in the film.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
without question, my favorite
Yeah.
scene in the film is that. My favorite performance in the film is Michael Caine.
Yep.
Because
Everyone
He's-
is so good in this, though.
Hold my finger.
He's having so much fun.
Yes.
Michael Caine doing Michael Caine stuff, and also
Yeah.
the fact that you know that he actually was friends with John Lennon in real life,
Oh yeah, that's true.
and he's just being John Lennon.
I don't know. I kind of gotta get it to Clive though. I
You know,
I know he's the
he's very
lead, but
good.
he's so good in this,
Yeah.
and it's
Whatever
overlooked
happened? Whatever happened to
because
him?
it's that
He
scene
works
where the
not a
scene
lot.
after Julianne
TV.
Moore, the scene after Julianne Moore is shot and killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
He does
When
a
they're-
lot of
When he
kidding.
breaks down by the tree.
Yes,
Oh,
he
yeah.
goes. He
Jesus
goes.
Christ.
He takes a cigarette out. He's
Yeah.
kind of. You don't know what he's just.
And then he
like,
falls
"Fuck."
apart.
And then he just. And I was like, oh my god, that is an act. Like that performance.
Yeah, that
Oh,
performance is
you
fantastic.
just remind me of something. At that point, I think later on when they're trying to escape the fishes coming into Michael Caine's place, he didn't have any shoes on. All of a sudden,
the
all of a
fucking
sudden-
flip flops.
all of
are
a sudden
amazing.
we have. No, that was later on. The thing is, all of
Oh.
a sudden we have Die Hard.
Yeah. A little
Yeah.
bit.
it's like, it's
Does
like
he-
Well, that's why.
does
That's
step
another
on
thing
something,
that's
he's
so
like,
great about
"Ah!"
this movie.
Yeah.
All the outfits he goes through, where then he has to have like a pullover, zip up, fucking
Uh-huh.
sweatshirt. Like
Uh-huh.
everything is so great. Like
is.
he's
Well-
wearing flip flops through most of the half of
Yeah,
the
it's
second
like
half of the movie.
London
Like,
2012 sweatshirt. It's like,
Yeah.
what the hell are you
Yeah.
doing?
Clive Owen continuously hurts his feet.
He
in
does.
this movie.
yes, yes.
And I thought that was a very fun character thing of like, he's always just like, because when they're having dinner at Michael Caine's house later on, he's got his feet in the water bath. and
That's
you can see
right.
the
yeah.
blood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
on the-
yeah.
Yeah.
He's all
Yeah.
his feet are all
And
cut
And then
up.
he has to be in his socks when they escape, and
Uh-huh.
then
Right.
He
has to
steps
do
in the
flip-flops.
mud.
Yeah.
He steps in the mud when he
And then
we
after,
have a
and then
safe
after,
house.
I
He's
love
like,
that
"Ah,
actor, that
ah,
Scottish
ah."
actor who
Uh-huh.
kind of betrays them.
It's
Sid.
from Sid. Yes.
Yeah,
He talks
I
about himself in
love-
the third person a
Train
lot, which I
spotting.
love.
Train
Yeah.
spotting. His Mother Superior in Train Spotting.
Mother
Yeah.
Superior, yeah, I love him. But after he goes after them, and then he has no shoes again, and he steps on something and it cuts his foot, obviously for the last.
I know. It's
Quarter of the movie.
It's insane. Also, that and the fact that all animals in this film love Theo.
Yep.
He's like the dogs love him. It's like, oh,
Yep.
They
don't like
They
anybody.
don't like
They
anyone.
don't like anybody. Like, and the cat was climbing.
The cat's climbing up his leg.
It's like it was so adorable. And then the thing is, this is that almost theological story. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's a story of like the deliverance of Jesus to Egypt. You know,
Well,
and so
who's-
that's a lot of that in here. A lot of allegory.
Who's the father of the child? No one. She's a virgin.
Oh, I love that. She
Oh, yeah.
She
There
was
you go.
pulling his leg.
Oh,
that
by
was
the way,
best.
That actress who plays Key, she's so good. And it's not a big part, but she's really good. And I love
She's
that
very
they
good.
dimension. She wasn't just like the pregnant lady that they had. She wasn't a MacGuffin. She was a character.
Yeah. Like
She-
when she's
Well,
when
she
she's
starts-
with
she
Michael
starts
Caine and
off
everybody
being
else, she's
like-
laughing, she's
Yeah, it was
talking.
great. They gave her so much good stuff to do.
She starts off being like, I thought you were supposed to be suave.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, no, he is suave. And she's like, no, he's a drunk.
Yeah,
and
right.
like
He's
and
very
then you go
perceptive.
Yeah.
through that whole scene, and then you have immediately after that you have the scene in the barn, and she has that whole little speech that she gives about cutting the cow's nipples off, and
Oh, yeah.
they could have made the
machine different.
the machines
The
have
milking
eight-
machine.
yeah. And then she does the reveal, and everyone understands the fact that she's revealing herself to him because Julian was like, no, you have
This
to
is
trust
this is
him."
the person. This is
Yeah.
the only person.
Right.
And that is
No matter who you talk to, who comes at you.
And Julian
this
was
person.
right.
Yeah.
And,
And
you
weirdly
go
enough,
back,
this-
and you
that-
go and you go back to a biblical analogy. Joseph is not Jesus's father,
No, he's not.
like,
Mhm.
but he's Jesus's protector.
Yeah, that's right.
In those stories,
Which goes back to the whole thing with the animals again.
Right.
That whole perception
yeah.
of like, it's like there's some serious Christian allegory in this film. It's wonderful.
oh, there sure is.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Jim, you've been awfully quiet.
I tried to say stuff, and
I'm so, we're sorry.
that's okay.
I'm not.
Yeah, no, I wasn't talking about you. You're outside the.
God bless you.
You're outside the story,
Mm-hmm.
the framework. No, I really enjoyed it. This is the second time I've seen it in probably 2 or 3 years, and it kept my attention. I also really like the scene where they all stop the war. And it doesn't really matter who starts it up again, but I like the fact that it does start up again from some random shot.
Yeah.
Right.
It could have been anybody, really, but yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's like it was too good to be true.
too good to be true. Yes.
They'll
Yeah,
all live
that's
happily ever after in the Azores.
Yeah, it would be too
Yeah.
unbelievable if it just was that was it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So this movie got on my radar kind of weirdly. This will only be of interest to Tad, but there was a guy that used to do movie reviews. Well, he still works for the Chronicle, but his name's Peter Harlob.
I read him all the time, man.
Well, he reviewed this movie,
Mhm.
and I hadn't really been paying too much attention to it, but he reviews the movie, and in his pretty rave, in the middle of it, he's tossed up this random. Watching this movie reminded me of playing Half-Life 2, and I went, what? So I watched this as soon as I could, and I actually saw it on a Bootleg Academy screener right around the same time.
So did I.
Wow.
And my dad happened to be with me at the time, and we put it on the screen and we watched it. And when the movie was over, we both sort of sat there for about 5 minutes, not able to get up.
Mhm.
And I'd like, holy fucking shit, what the hell was that? And then I go and I look and see who did it. I'm like, this is the guy that made Y Tu Mama Tambien. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
And he hasn't made a lot of movies, but every movie
Also a
he's
great
made,
movie though.
Every movie
And
he's
Harry
made
Potter and
no,
the
has
Prisoner of
been was my
Azkaban.
favorite movie of the year that it
Yeah,
came
the best
out.
Harry
No,
Potter movie.
He
too.
was after that. He was on a path to conquer Hollywood, and he fucking did it.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, no, because he didn't make it again. The fucking Gravity was like what,
That was a big film. That made a lot of money.
And again, my favorite movie that year too. And then
See?
I despise Gravity.
Okay.
yeah, well, then he makes
Well, it's 'cause the ending
Mexican thing,
sucks.
which was my favorite movie that year.
Which one?
Rama.
And I mean, he's just, I don't know. And no one's, what's weird to me is no one's mentioned the thing that I watch this every couple of years now. It's like watching Network. It's like, holy fucking shit. All the bad stuff came true. Like at the time this movie came out, this country and the sort of faux populism masquerading as blatant racism hadn't really taken
Oh
got
yeah.
to the level that it is now. And you look at how people get treated in this movie and the disparity between the Fugees,
Have you heard the-
and the fucking people living in London with the pink, with Battersea. It's like, oh, like here it is all over again. The fucking 10% owns the 90%.
It hits
Chris,
a little
have you-
different now, doesn't it?
Well, the
Chris,
last year or so, yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, have you heard of the Patriot Act?
Yeah. Now, mind you,
Of course I have, but
when this film came out, none of that shit was happening. You know, it was just
not
like
to the level it is now.
no. But
Yeah.
the thing is, well, not much of it. So, but now it's like one of the things like I thought. Well, there's a lot of analogies. There's a lot of analogies to Trump's America right now. I could watch, but no, actually,
because we turned the speed up on the blender that we're feeding people into doesn't mean the blender hasn't been running for a long time.
Hey, the
No,
British have their
there you go,
blender.
there
We
you
have
go.
our blender.
There you go.
Every
It's
country's got their
it's-
goddamn blender. So
It's
like,
just more blatant.
it's
yeah.
just the thing is with this. It's like it's one of the things I was kind of relieved to watch in this is like British. They established the fact that Britain is the only place in the world that's still civilized, if you like.
Oh yeah, they say
Yeah,
that
which
on
I
the
thought was
bus.
funny right in the
Yeah, yeah.
beginning.
But
It's like
America's-
everywhere else fucking bullshit.
America
Trying to
is
hang
really
on.
off the
America is blown the fuck up. So it's like
Yeah.
you know, it's like
Yeah,
we
but
need-
And so
but
we're
that-
led to believe we see this portrait of what England's like. It's like this is actually
but
the
that's
best.
1984, maybe. Who knows?
This
Which
No,
is
but
funny
that-
because
but
this
again-
is made by
but-
a Mexican, but it's
Yeah,
starring
it
a
might
Brit.
be.
I don't know.
But again, this is based very similarly to a lot of other dramas like V for Vendetta, which is a very similar thing
Yep.
where
Yeah, it's almost
Yeah.
the same future, huh?
where V for
Almost.
V for Vendetta is saying the same thing, except there is one throwaway line in V for Vendetta where they talk about how the Americans have sent ships full of food to England, and they're rejected.
Right.
And the thing
But that's based on
is-
a graphic novel, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah,
Alan Moore.
Alan Moore. But the thing is, you can kind of switch out of the view of the film and be like, maybe they were sending food to help, like, and the government is spinning it as, oh, this is them trying to get something from us and blah 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 blah. And the idea of Britain as sort of the island fortress apart from all of the rest of this, and they don't have any access to anything outside of what's being
Right.
broadcast in there. The rest of the world may not be anywhere near as fucked up as they think
It's
it is.
definitely possible. You know,
Yeah,
so
you
but
really
this is
don't know.
this goes back to Orwell.
But the beginning of this was a little bit like Britain has changed its flag to "I fucking told you so."
The thing is, to maintain their sovereignty and civilization working out, they're throwing everybody out.
I think that's actually
we were saying the
I think
aftermath of a gigantic immigration invasion they're trying to reverse. And they've been trying to reverse for 20 years.
I think this presupposes Brexit more than it presupposes.
Yeah, no
anything
shit. That's
else.
exactly right. All right, well, let's. I think
Anyway, I'll just say this is the only movie of the last 25 years to make it on my my favorite movies of all time list. Like,
So it's a late addition to your best of all time.
This is the newest movie on my all-time list,
wow.
and this movie came out in 2006.
That's
Okay,
right.
there you go.
So,
Okay, so it's a show of thumbs, guys.
Well, I didn't see it when
This
you
movie
guys
is
did,
good.
but I did see it in the theater when it came out.
Same
So-
here.
Was blown
So-
away.
John said that he went, I would like to say, what, from like here to here?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. I went from here to here.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
All right.
On this one, you don't like it, huh?
I hated this movie when I first saw it, and
Oh.
I was
Oh.
upset when Chris picked it again, but I have a slightly better feeling towards it now.
Okay, good.
Okay, then.
Discussion
But,
always
you,
helps.
but you have to admit, just on sheer filmmaking alone, it's
Oh no,
got
I think that
merit.
okay, so I will take a moment to dive into
a
this.
second thumb.
Right. I think that there are parts of this movie that are absolutely fucking fantastically made. My problem is I think that how on the nose the storytelling is and how thin I think the story is have always kept me away from appreciating it completely as a film. But rewatching it this time has pushed me a little bit more towards I can accept the parts of it that I like without completely rejecting it from the parts I don't like.
Mhm.
And going back to the previous review, this is why I've always liked Julianne Moore and why I was so disappointed with her performance in the last movie.